Good morning students. Welcome to social science class. Let us learn Rise of Jainism and Buddhism, 6th chapter from history. This is the last chapter for your first semester examination in history. In this chapter you will learn the reasons behind the rise of Jainism and Buddhism. Under Jainism you will understand the role of Parshvanatha and Vardhamana Mahavira, their life and teachings. The principles of Jainism. Under Buddhism, you will understand the life of Gautama Buddha and his teachings, the principles of Buddhism, spread of new religion, and their contributions to the art and architecture. In today's class, you will understand about Jainism. India is a land of many cultures and religions. This diverse culture is nourished by various religions. Among these religions, the Jainism and Buddhism are the two important religions which played major role. They emerged during 6th century BCE in the mid-region of River Ganga plains. Buddha and Mahavira preached peace, non-violence, tolerance and human values which are very essential for the world. Let us know the reasons behind the rise of Jainism and Buddhism. What made people to encourage or welcome new religion? There are too many factors which are responsible for the rise of new religions. Let us know one by one. When you come to religion, religious unrest in India in the 6th century BCE was a major reason for the rise of Jainism and Buddhism. The complex rituals and sacrifices advocated in the later Vedic period were not acceptable to the common people. The sacrificial ceremonies were also found to be too expensive. The superstitious beliefs and mantras confused the people. The teachings of Upanishads, an alternative to the system of sacrifices, were highly philosophical in nature and therefore not easily understood by all. Therefore, what was needed in the larger interest of the people was a simple, short and good way to salvation for all people. Such religious teaching should be in language which known to them. This need was fulfilled by teachings of Buddha and Mahavira. Let us come to other social factors. When you come to social factors means Brahmins were the priests who were conducting yagnas and yagas were the heads of all ceremonies of religious rituals. Kshatriyas were the ruling class and were in the second place in hierarchy. Vaishyas, who were engaged in animal husbandry and business, were also called as twice-born or dvijas. Still certain prohibitions were on them. The Shudras were considered as a labor class and were there only as the household laborers and skilled workers. All the status and facilities of the society were reserved for the upper varnas only. Women, along with the Shudras, were considered as profane. During this period, the teachings of Gautama Buddha and Mahavira appeared as a new hope for them. When it comes to economical reasons, in the most of ancient time, the contemporary agricultural practices and rise in the food production played a major role in profound changes to occur in the political and religious system. The same are the reasons for the rise of Jainism and Buddhism. The oxen were sacrificed during religious rituals, which brought down their numbers. In this background, since both Jainism and Buddhism rejected animal sacrifice and advocated non-violence, gave a new hope to become visible to people. The Vaishyas, who were placed in the third place in the Varna system, commanded no respect from the society. In order to escape from limitations enforced by the Vedic religion on their social status, the business class supported the new religion like Jainism and Buddhism. And they also rejected Varna system which was existed during that period. When it comes to political cause, the Janapadas and Mahajanapadas in the river Ganga plain were getting transformed into kingships. The new kings from these Janapada communities were looking for a way out to break the hegemony of the Vedic religion. They accepted the philosophy of Buddha and Mahavira who preached peace and supported non-violence. The religions of Buddha and Mahavira identified the desire as a major reason for all the human hardships. They supported the simple living without accumulation too much wealth. They rejected luxurious life and advocated peaceful and moral family life. And then afterwards, when it comes to language, Vedic people followed Sanskrit language. Only the upper class people were able to follow Sanskrit language. The other class people were not able to understand what was there in Vedas. Hence, they lost interest in the religion. Here, both Jainism and Buddhism followed the language which was spoken by the common people. They used Pali and Prakrit language to preach their teachings. That's why people got attracted towards the new religion and they rejected the old Vedic religion. Now let us come to Jainism. Jainism. What is Jainism? Jainism is one of the very ancient religion. It believes in a cyclic nature of universe. It discourages superstitious beliefs and blind beliefs and encourages free and rational thinking. Jainism lays heavy emphasis on non-violence, that is the plus point for Jainism, and also it encourages disciplined life. Jains follow vegetarianism and they follow meditation, yoga, and also they consider environment as an important aspect. These are the factors which popularized Jainism. Let us come to Jainism. Jainism and Buddhism emerged during 6th century BCE, as earlier I just told you. Jainism is one of the oldest religion in India. The Jains believe that there were 24 Tirthankaras and Rishabhanatha was the first Tirthankara who founded Jainism. Parshvanatha was the 23rd Tirthankara and Mahavira is considered as 24th Tirthankara. Swastika is the holy symbol of Jainism. Once again I'll repeat you. Rishabhanatha was the first Tirthankara and Parshvanatha was 23rd Tirthankara and Mahavira was 24th Tirthankara. Parshvanatha attained supreme knowledge at the age of 30. He preached 4 great principles which became base for Jainism. What are the 4 principles of Jainism? Means Ahimsa, which is non-violence. Satya means follow the truth path. Asteya, not to steal. Aparigraha, that is non-possession of property more than what one required. These teachings form fundamental doctrines of Jainism. These are the 4 important teachings in Jainism. I'll repeat once again. Non-violence, truth, Asteya and Aparigraha. These 4 principles were given by Parshvanatha. Now let us come to Vardhamana Mahavira. Vardhamana Mahavira was born in 599 BCE at Kundalagrama near Vaishali. His parents were King Siddhartha and Queen Trishula Devi. Siddhartha was the head of Kshatriya clan. Vardhamana married Princess Yashoda when he was 18 years old. He had a daughter named by Priyadarshini. When his parents died all of a sudden and he gave up worldly life and he renounced the worldly comforts and he became ascetic and went in search of truth of life. For 12 years Vardhamana lived the life of self-mortification and deep meditation. On the 10th day of Vaishakha, Vardhamana attained enlightenment at Trimbakagrama in Bihar. He attained the highest spiritual knowledge called Kaivalya and became Kevalin. Kevalin or Jina. The meaning of Kevalin or Jina is the conqueror who had subdued his passions. Thereafterwards, Vardhamana came to be known as Mahavira. For the next 30 years, he traveled preaching the principles of Jainism in Kosala, Magadha, Videha and Anga. He attained Nirvana at Pavpuri near Rajagriha in South Bihar at the age of 72 in 527 BCE. Children, you know what is the meaning of Nirvana? Nirvana means getting freedom from birth and death cycle. Getting freedom from birth and death cycle is called Nirvana. Do you know, children, one fact, very important fact? Mahavira was a contemporary of Gautama Buddha, but they never met each other. He established a religious order which was open to both men and women. He accepted the teachings of Parshvanatha as the basis of Jainism. So let us know about teachings of Vardhamana Mahavira. Mahavira preached 5 vows, that is called Panchashila, and 3 jewels for the attainment of salvation. 5 great vows are Satya, Ahimsa, Asteya, Aparigraha. So these 4 were given by Parshvanatha itself. He added one more called Brahmacharya. Mahavira added 5th one, Brahmacharya. Now Satya, Ahimsa, Asteya, Aparigraha and Brahmacharya are the principles of Jainism. 3 jewels or 3 ratnas of Jainism are Samyak Gnana, Samyak Darshana and Samyak Charita. In other way, we can say that right knowledge, right faith and right conduct. What does it mean? Samyak Gnana, acquiring good knowledge and right knowledge. And then Samyak Darshana, that means having faith in good things, and whatever you see, try to see good in that and have a faith in that. Samyak Charita, that is conduct, behavior. You should follow good behavior and you should be always there in the right conduct. These are the 3 jewels or 3 ratnas of Jainism. Once again, I'll repeat, Samyak Gnana, Samyak Darshana and Samyak Charita are considered as 3 ratnas of Jainism. The concept of karma is very important aspect of Jainism. The preachings of Mahavira were compiled in 12 volumes. These were called 12 Angas by the Jains. They are in Prakrit language. Jainism has 2 important sects, namely that is Shvetambaras and Digambaras. Jainism has 2 important divisions which is known as Shvetambaras and Digambaras. Shvetambaras wear white color cloth and Digambaras, they are the pure followers of Mahavira. They won't wear any cloth. These are the 2 important divisions of Jainism. Mahavira did not believe in the existence of God but believed in the existence of soul. He condemned the caste system and sacrificial rituals. He laid stress on non-violence and believed that even animal, plants, stones, mud, water, like whatever the things are there, everything has life and that's why everything should be respected. We are not supposed to harm any of the living beings. That's why you might have observed, children, Jains cover their mouth with a white cloth not to harm any of the living creatures. The followers of Jina is called Jainism. That means the followers of Mahavira are called Jains. Jina means the disciple and Jains means the people who follow Jainism. How did Jainism spread? The spread of Jainism. In the beginning, Jainism was confined to kingdoms of Kosala, Magadha, Videha and Anga. The patronage of kings like Ajatashatru, Bimbasara and Chandragupta Maurya led to the spread of Jainism all over India. During the last years of Chandragupta Maurya, a famine broke out in North India. Chandragupta, along with Bhadrabahu, migrated to Shravanabelagola, which is there in Karnataka. He settled at Chandragiri hills and died by observing Sallekana. Sallekana is followed by Jains. Sallekana means starving till the death. That means they'll fast and they'll try to punish their body till they get moksha from the body. The Kadambas, the Gangas and Chalukyas and the Rashtrakutas patronized Jainism. Hence Jainism spread to the other parts of India like Karnataka, Gujarat and Rajasthan also. People found the religion attractive as it was based on simplicity and spirituality. There were no animal sacrifice nor was there any other class discrimination. That's why it became more popular. The famous Kannada poets like Pampa, Ranna, Janna, Ponna, they followed Jainism. Like that, we have many people who followed Jainism in the southern region. Hoysala ruler Vishnuvardhana was also Jain earlier. Later, he became Sri Vaishnava, but his wife Shantala remained as a Jain till her end of life. Now, let us come to the contributions of Jains in the field of art and architecture. What is their contribution in the field of art and architecture? Jains constructed temples and monasteries. Jain relics are found in Kandagiri and Udayagiri caves in Odisha. Jains have constructed hundreds of dharmashalas, opened several orphanages and supported many charitable institutions. Jains erected stupas, rock-cut temples and caves. Example, we can take Ellora caves and Aurangabad. Temples at Mount Abu, which is there in Rajasthan, are some of the best examples of Jain architecture. And one more in the southern India, that means statue of Gammateshwara, which is there at Shravanabelagola in Karnataka, is another good example for their skill in sculpture. The gigantic structure of Bahubali, that means Gammateshwara at Shravanabelagola, and we also have one more Bahubali statue at Karkala, which is quite near to Dharmasthala in Karnataka, are good examples for Jain art and architecture. The next important one is the Dilwara temple, which is there in Mount Abu in Rajasthan, and Rankapur near Jodhpur and Jain Tower at Chittor are famous for Jain architecture. In the picture you can see Shravanabelagola, the Gammateshwara statue of Shravanabelagola, and then here you can see Dilwara temple. Dilwara temple is a huge temple with a great architectural skill. It is built out of marble. Now let us come to the final stage of Jainism, that is why the Jainism lost popularity. What are the causes for decline of Jainism? Even today we have many followers, but still we have few reasons to decline of Jainism. What are those? Jainism preached rigid austerity. It rose at a time when Buddhism also existed. The theory of ahimsa was extended even to wearing of cloth. These factors prevented it from getting popular support. The religion did not spread to foreign countries. Jainism did not get royal patronage from contemporary rulers. In contrast, Buddhism received a large-scale support from Ashoka, Harsha and Kanishka. Though Jainism advocated equality of men, it did not do away totally with the high and low positions in society. During the Gupta period and in the later years, Hinduism once again became popular. Therefore, Jainism remained restricted to a few pockets in the country. So today, merchant community follows Jainism, but we can find more Jains in southern part when it compared to northern India. Children, if you want to see the temples of Jains, you can also visit which are located in Bangalore. We can find Jain temples in Baswangudi, Chamarajpete and Jainagara areas. You can see the beautiful construction of Jain architecture. Once you can visit and you can collect more information. With this, we have come to an end of this lesson. In the next class, you can learn about Buddhism. Before concluding the lesson, let me tell what we have learned today. We have understood the causes for the rise of new religion, and we have learned Jainism in detail, and that we have also understood the life of Mahavira and his teachings, and we have understood Samyak Gnana, Samyak Charita and Samyak Darshana are considered as three Ratnas of Jainism. Along with that, we also understood how these religions spread in north and southern India. We have also understood the contributions of Jains to the art and architecture. And finally, we have also understood the causes for losing popularity in India. So with this, let me conclude this session. Before I conclude, I want to tell you there are few questions for you. In this, try to answer two questions. That is, first two questions. Who was the first Jain Tirthankara? Where did Mahavira attain Nirvana? Remaining questions you can answer in the next session, which is related to Buddhism. Children, try to write the answers in your homework book. And not only that, if you have any queries, as usual, put your queries in WhatsApp group. I will answer for your queries. And then let us meet in the next session and let us learn about Buddhism. Till that, take care and have a nice time. Thank you, children.